if you're really willing to and wanting to make your own identity. Also, if you are here to become financially free, if you've been feeling like, you know what, I am done asking other people for money, I would like to have my own money, generate my own income, and have the freedom to live life my way. And last but not the least, if you are looking to get the respect that you know you deserve, but for whatever reason you haven't been able to obtain it yet, tell me in the chat box, what are you here for? Is it any of these or anything else that comes to your mind? I would love to know, why are you here? Identity, financial independence, respect, of course, so important, inner happiness, self confidence. Love it. Superb. Let me share with you what you're going to learn today. Today, we are going to cover a lot of conversation around what is passion, how to find it. Look at every relationship of yours to see what's your relationship with money, what's your relationship with success, what's your relationship with that monkey mind that continuously keeps stopping us, and how to overcome that resistance, that invisible enemy that lives inside of us. And then, last but not the least, I will cover the 10 steps of the coaching methodology to help you create the business and a life that you absolutely love. All right. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to truly acknowledge and appreciate every single one of you. Rather, I'd love for you to take your hand, pat yourself on the back, and be super proud. You know, with the kind of lives we live, how busy we are, it's so easy to register for things like this and then never show up. Rather, majority does not. So the fact that you registered and then you kept your commitment, that in itself is a win. Would you agree? Put win in the chat box if you are realizing that there are so many things we register for but we never land up going. But today you have prioritized yourself and you continue to keep prioritizing yourself. Would you agree a time will come where automatically your life will start to show you that you have been prioritizing yourself? True? Fabulous. Love it. Very quickly to begin with, I just want to share with you how I became a life coach. So I was 18 years old, leaving for Cardiff Law School, very ambitious, very good in studies, really wanted to become something, where my mother-in-law, who had come to stay with us at that point, not my mother-in-law, but who had come to stay with us, proposed for me. My parents felt it was a fabulous proposal, and instead of sending me to Cardiff Law School, sent me off from Delhi to Chennai. This is back in 1999, and within a month, I realized that, you know what had happened to me, I did not know how to get out of. But it was like I called my first year the year of dream shattering. I tried my level best to impress them, to impress my husband. And the harder I tried, I think the more disappointed they were getting in me and my abilities. Rather, when I saw disappointment in their eyes, I started to get disappointed in myself. And a time came where I became a walking, talking zombie. You know, literally, like nothing would make me happy because I knew I was so far away from where I had wanted to be. Every night I would cry myself to sleep, not knowing now how to get out of where we have gone off. Anybody in your life ever experienced a storm where you've gone off in a completely different direction than what you're supposed to be, or got surrounded by people who just don't understand you, that no matter whenever you open your mouth, something wrong only comes out, or it gets misunderstood even if it is not wrong? You know, and so that was pretty much my journey. And for the first 5 years, people around me kept telling me, you should be grateful, Pooja, you should be grateful, you have it all, a good husband, the house, the travel, the family, the cars, the jewelry, the everything that a happy woman should have. But deep down inside, that's the last thing I was experiencing. I was not feeling happy at all. You see, if you are also a high achiever like me, or at least desire to be a high achiever, you know all of those things can give you momentary pleasure, but they can't give you the kind of meaningful life that deep down we have been seeking. And so eventually a time came where one day I just went up to my husband and I said, you know what? I just can't do this anymore. I need to leave. And he said, Kahan jayegi? And I said, I don't know. He's saying, but you're not even educated. I said, I know. I said, you know what? By then I had two babies and they were going to be studying in a preschool, and I wasn't too happy with their preschool. So I said, I'm going to start my own preschool in Chennai. And he said, why don't you do this? Start it and then go. in my head, I'm thinking, how am I going to get permission to start it? What I at that point did not know is the minute you in your body have courage and clarity to do something, all the people that you currently think are going to come in the way start to move aside and the path starts to get clear. So as I went about studying and then opened my own preschool, this is back in 2006. I can tell you all the while that I had been blaming God, blaming in laws, blaming husband, blaming parents, blaming society. You know, when you become negative, how negative you can be. And so, all the time blaming, I realized that, you know what, everything shifted once I knew where I'm headed. Everything shifted once I knew where I'm headed. And so after that, actually the preschool did extremely well. Within 6 months, I had over 100 children enrolled. And more than even teaching, what I absolutely loved doing was the Tuesdays and Thursdays counseling sessions that I used to take for parents. I had never known that I had a counseling side to myself. Eventually, by the time in 2010, I flew to America, studied under a man called Jack Canfield, did my entire life coaching program, really started to look for answers in my life to be happy again. And I decided that if I become happy again, I'm going to help other women do the same. Came back to having rooms full with women, literally with manifestation, business, self branding. It didn't matter the topic, parenting, marriage. I just wanted to talk because I had so much to share. So, my teacher, Jack Canfield, is also the author of the book Chicken Soup for the Soul. If you know him, just put KH in the chat box. Know him. And so eventually, what happened was that I came back, I won the Nationals Woman of the Year award, I got my own TEDx talk, and of course, wrote my book, Unlocking the Golden Cage. And my teacher, Jack, actually came and launched it with me. It was just a fabulous feeling. However, what I realized was that more than even all of my success in my career, what truly matters to me is family. Anybody here knows what I'm talking about? For you also, family comes first. Put FF in the chat box. Family comes first. And that was my biggest realization, that all of that while I had been begging other people for approval, acknowledgement, appreciation, giving me, please give me importance. All of that is what had been happening. And as I started to become a life coach and I started to help other people, my own self esteem started to go up. And as my self esteem went up, I realized that a woman of the house, it's her moral obligation to be a happy person, because her energy basically dominates the energy of the house. How many of you would agree that a happy wife is a happy home? Correct or no? Put correct in the chat box if you agree, or put agree in the chat box if you agree that, you know what, a happy home comes from a happy wife, a happy woman in the house. And that's what really changed for me. All of that while I had been sucking the energy of everyone in my house, because I was so depleted. I needed all of that attention and importance because I was so, not, my soul was not getting recognized. And we as women like to be seen, like to be heard, like to be given the dignity of that we also have something important to say. Now, of course, my children are 20 and 24. They're all grown up. I've been married for 25 years. I still live in a joint family of 13 people. And I can tell you, every relationship of mine changed when I changed my relationship with myself. When I stopped being a beggar and I turned into what I call a queen. A queen is someone who goes out in the world to give. A beggar is someone who goes out in the world to receive compliments, receive love, receive respect. If you become the giver, you automatically receive something that I did not understand then, but I understand it now. How many of you agree? Yes? True? Absolutely. And so that's pretty much how my journey went. Today, I want you to know this, that to get the best out of today, make a lot of notes, remain super interactive, stay till the end. Okay, now very important, stay till the end. Why am I saying this? Ordinary women start strong, extraordinary women finish strong. I want the one thing, if you can learn from today's session, is going to be, can you just start to finish strong? We are so good at getting excited and starting strong, we don't realize the real power lives in finishing. And of course, we will do some Q&A right in the end, and let's have a lot of fun. Come on, everyone. Do like this. Let's do the bhangra. Who here wants to have a boring lecture where I continuously keep talking for 3 hours? No, na? How many of you willing to have fun? Come on, show me, 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 show me. Oh, very good. Those of you who cooperated, fabulous. And those of you who are still sitting and just looking at me, I'd love for you to start to participate. Willing to participate? Put a capital P in the chat box if you're willing to participate. Fabulous. The agenda for today is very simple to get you to reach a place by the end of today's session where you have a lot more clarity on the path forward. Yes? Superb. Another request for all of you, if you are not already following me on Instagram, I will highly recommend if you could go to Pooja_Puneet, press follow and come back and tell me in the chat box done. Okay, we are going to put the link in the chat box. Can you see the link in the chat box? Just press on that, put follow and come back and put done. If you love programs like this, I highly recommend also follow Success Gap. All right, are you all set to get started? Put ready in the chat box if you're ready. Love it, love it, love it. So I'm going to begin with the three questions that we if you don't want to have any regret in life, if you want to live a regret free life, then if you keep asking yourself these three questions every evening on a daily basis, you will start to see that you will design a life with a lot more meaning than simply just letting life pass you by. The first question I want to address is, did I truly live? This is all about your energy, how you wake up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, are you excited to get out of bed? Are you looking forward to the day? Do you have a few things that are feeling like, wow, I'm going to get to do these things? Or are you living a very mundane life, a very monotonous life, a life where there is nothing that is exciting you, nothing that is, making you come alive? So, one of the things that makes us come alive in life is clarity. The more clarity you have on the journey, the more excited you will be about life. There was this woman in America who had been able to lift the car and save her grandchild. Now she was almost close to 60 years old, and people around her kept asking her that, how were you able to do it? And she refused to give any interviews. Eventually a journalist called her up and said, okay, don't give me an interview, but at least tell me why you're not giving an interview. And she said, I've gone into deep regret. And he said, of what sorts? She said, you come over, I'll tell you all about it. When he went over, he saw her crying. And she said, if I could have lifted a car at the age of 60, what all I could have done in my life that I didn't do? And he asked her, what is it that you would have liked to have done? And she said, I was always very interested in geology. I wish I had become a geologist. And he asked her, what's stopping you now? And she laughed, like, what a silly question. And he said, no, don't just throw away this question. I am leaving, but I'd love for you to ponder about it. Why are you not becoming a geologist? In 4 years, you're anyway going to be 64. Now, you can either be a geologist, 64-year-old lady, or you can be, rather, this morning I was watching an article where a 103-year-old lady just finished her master's. So, what happened was that this 4 years later, this lady invited the journalist to sit in the front row of her graduation, and she spoke from stage on how the last 4 years had been the happiest 4 years of her life. And she said, I am so happy that I did not put that excuse of I'm too old, or, what am I going to do with this degree, or how am I going to manage after that? And the college where she did the degree, they also offered her professorship to come and start teaching geology in that particular college. Now, I know you're all sitting in this room, and I know that each one of us has our own barrier to why we can't. And I'd love for you to start to explore truly what are you telling yourself right now why you can't. Maybe you're telling yourself you don't have the resources. Maybe you're telling yourself your children are too small. Maybe you're telling yourself your in-laws will never allow. Maybe you're telling yourself your parents want you to do one thing while you're interested in doing another thing. Maybe you're thinking you're too young, too old, too pretty, too not pretty, too... What are you thinking? Tell me in the chat box. Let's look at some of the excuses that we as women love to give to ourselves, thinking genuinely that, society is just not going to let us. Superb. Fabulous. Yeah. And the more you can recognize the reasons, the more you can actually start to work with it. What I'd love for you to do is, do you know anybody in your life who could be having the exact same excuse that you have, but somehow they haven't let that stop them? Can you this week go and identify people around you who may be, in the exact same boat at some point, but they decided not to use that as an excuse, rather to use that as the fuel to move towards their mission, vision, purpose, whatever you want to call it? Because can I tell you, we are our biggest self sabotagers. How many of you know that? We don't need an enemy